There we are. Time to go over the questions, go over the answers for the questions you guys took yesterday. For those of you who emailed me and said how confident you felt, that's great. That's exactly what we're hoping for here. We do have to start out with a huge shout out to a teacher down there, Miss Baddorf down at Westwood Christian School down there in Miami, for nothing but great things. And John Carlos wanted to make sure that everyone knew how great a job you were doing. So I want to start today to all those good people down there in Miami. Let's hope we get through this whole thing all right, and let's hope your students do really well on this AP test as well, and it sounds like they're going to. So here we are today. We're going to go through now, disclaimer to start the day off, okay? So I will say, like, all right, give yourself a point if you got this right? These are not official. I'm just saying that question number 1 is going to be worth, this is in my land, 12 points. Question number 2 is going to be worth 12 points. And that way I can give you some ish numbers, meaning if it's out of 24 and I say, look, if you're in the 21 to 24-ish range, it would probably be about a 4. This is not exactly how they're doing this. I'm just, because kids always ask, like, I just got 17, what does that mean? And I just want you guys to say, oh, okay, that would probably be a low 4, something like that, okay? So I want you guys to know that. So let's get started here and go over these. Hopefully you guys found them somewhat easy. So here we go, the first one. And for a couple of you said that you are so used to hearing me say, when you see a total column, always make a marginal column, and how much that helped. I'm glad, because certainly you need to do that. A and B, you did not. So let's start right there. A is a point, at least it was when this was an AP question. So 1 point if you said it's perfectly competitive because they're price takers, or it's perfectly competitive because the price was given or set in the market. Okay, 1 point. Hopefully you are going over your answers. One thing I always tell my students, by the way, this might be really helpful, is I always have them take a highlighter and highlight what they missed. And I always tell them, like, why would you keep studying things that you're getting correct? You should be studying things you've missed, right? So you should have sheets of paper. And so maybe over this test, you go back and you're like, I missed D. It's the only thing I missed. It'll jump right off the page and go back and figure out why. B, 1 point. Perfectly competitive because they're wage takers, because the wage is set in the market or the wage is given. Okay. C, using marginal revenue product analysis. How many employees should the firm hire to maximize short-run profits? Well, once again, how do you get marginal revenue product? It's marginal product times price. We're in a perfectly competitive firm. So let's get our marginal product column, right? 0 to 14, 14, and then 12. Hopefully my math is correct. I know on one of those videos I made a mistake. Basic math gets you every time. And then marginal revenue product is simply marginal product times price. And they said, I got to move the camera. It says there's $3 each. So go ahead and multiply this times $3 each. So how many employees should they hire? Well, what you have to look for now is the wage. Okay, so far you probably have 2 points. Most of you probably do. C is worth 2 points. So you say the wage is $11. Remember, marginal revenue product is the additional revenue each additional worker makes. So the 4th worker is going to make me $21. The fifth worker makes 12, right? If I own this business, and the 6th worker only makes me 6. So I'm not going to pay him $11. So the answer for C, 1 point if you said 5. And then the second point, how do you tell? So you would say for 1 point, you would say because with the 5th worker, marginal revenue product is greater than wage, but for the 6th worker, it is not. Or you actually show the math. 5th worker, marginal revenue product is 12, wage is 11. 6th worker, MRP is only 6, wage is 11, right? Or that's where marginal revenue product was still greater than your wage or your marginal factor cost, but for the 6 it wasn't. Something about that gets you that second point. Okay, so now we're at 4 points. D, how many units of output will this firm produce? So 1 point if you said, so you just said, all right, 5 workers produces 46, right? In bad news, there wasn't consistency. It's not like Mac. So really think columns, count the, oh yeah, this makes all sense. And then, so now we're at 1, 2, 5 points. And then the last point on here, E, at the level of output you identified in part D, are they earning economic profit, a normal profit? Okay, so first of all, you got to say to yourself, I understand economic profit. What is normal profit? Normal profit is 0 economic profit. It's what the firms normally make in the long run. And we know what a loss is. So how do you do this? All right, let's just do some math together. 5 employees make 46. Now, how do you get our economic profit? It's total revenue minus your total economic cost equals your profit. So total revenue, 46, they're $3 each. So this firm made $138 in total revenue. Their cost, you have 5 workers, each worker cost $11, that's $55, okay? So 5 workers, $11 each. $10 because it says you have fixed cost of 10. Okay, that's just your fixed cost that you're paying. So now you know your total costs are $65, meaning you are left with $73. If you got that, that was a point, right? And how do you tell? The math would be enough if you had all the math. Now, if you didn't do the math and you're at home like, oh, I didn't do the math, it's okay. Because you could have said they are earning economic profit because the total revenue is greater than the total cost. To be honest, I would rather see, as a teacher, I'd rather see a student understands the math behind this. So remember, you're just getting your total revenues and subtracting out your total cost. There we go. Easy, hopefully. 6 for 6, ready to move on? Jalen, we can move on. Here we go. Second question. Good stuff. Game theory. I know students love game theory. So let's not even look at A through E. Just stay with me here, okay? Why don't we just and I know this was GHIJK on yours, okay? I just copied it over here. So if I say A, you're looking at yours, it's G, okay? Before we do that, if AirTouch decides to leave in the morning, okay? And that's their schedule. If Windward goes in the morning at $700, they go in the evening at $600. So we know Windward is going to go $700. Now, I understand that if you guys are taking this on May 20th and you're on your laptop or your iPad, that you can't like circle the screen unless you have, the touch screen, Surface. That's okay. Just jot this down again. Just jot the numbers down. The key is you want to make sure you understand exactly like who has a dominant strategy and things like that. If AirTouch goes in the evening, if Windward goes in the morning, they get 950. If they go in the evening, they get 800. So now you know Windward has a dominant strategy. They're always going to go in the morning. And if they do go in the morning, if AirTouch goes in the morning, they get 1,000, evening 750, they're going to go in the morning. And if Windward goes in the evening, if AirTouch goes in the morning, they get 7. If they go in the evening, they get 9. AirTouch does not have a dominant strategy. Okay. So A, what market do they operate? 1 point total, not for each, not for answer explanation, just 1 point total. If you said oligopoly because the firms are interdependent, or you panic, you're sitting in a parking lot outside of a school bus parked in the middle of nowhere to get free Wi-Fi, and you forgot the word interdependent, and you say, oh, what is that word? And so you say they're an oligopoly because AirTouch is their decision is dependent on what Windward does and vice versa, whatever. Okay. B, if Windward, so that's 1 point, chooses an evening, what departure time? 1 point, evening. C, identify the dominant strategy for Windward, 1 point, morning. I'm just looking right at those columns. So far, so good. D, is choosing an evening departure time a dominant strategy? Once again, could this be a question where the answer is yes and then explain? Sure, it could, but it also doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Yes, they do. Explain. Because they do. Like, right? I get that. And yes, you would have to say because they're always going to do it based on this. But in this case, for the most part, right, the answer is 1 point to say no. In the second point, they're asking, is evening for AirTouch a dominant strategy? Well, no, because if Windward goes in the morning, AirTouch is going to go in the morning. But if they go in the evening, they will go in the evening. So that's why it's not a dominant strategy. So you had to say something about the fact that if Windward goes in the morning, AirTouch will also go in the morning. So therefore, they don't always go in the evening. And then, so that was 2 points. And then E is a point. If both firms know all the information, but do not cooperate, what will Windward's daily profit be? $1,700. And the reason is Windward is always going to go in the morning. Dominant strategy. Because they do, AirTouch will also go in the morning. So there's your Nash equilibrium. So Windward's going to end up with $700. 12 points. Hopefully you're out there going 12 for 12. Let's move right along. All right. So here's some things to think about. A, how long did it take you to do it? I know many of you were done long before the 30 minutes, long before the 25 minutes you'd have to start uploading it. B, if you miss points, what did you miss? Was it dumb mistakes? Was it you wrote the wrong number down? This is why, right? That 30 minutes. I know that some people were like, that's not a lot of time. I think that's a lot of time. I think they're giving you enough time to go back over the question and make sure your answers are correct. Make sure your columns are correct. As someone who has made some mental math errors in the past, some of you may have noticed, I would make sure to go back, and especially my marginal product column, because if you mess that up, it messes up marginal revenue product. I'd go back through and do the game theory and make sure I did the circles correct. Okay, question number 2. What type of graph does Grand Farm sell the corn in? Now, these are points I made up. These aren't old AP questions. I just threw this together for you guys. Because you're not going to be graphing, I thought, hey, they could have a graph for you already. Something's been shifted. Tell us what's happened. I think that would be a decent question. So 1 point total, perfectly competitive because the price is set in the market or because they're price takers. B, 1 point. These are almost all 1 point, by the way. Is Grand Farm currently earning economic profits? And the answer is economic profit because price is greater than average total cost. So look at this quantity, right? Here's your price, and stay on this line, here's your average total cost. So your price is greater, so you're earning profit. Please don't ever write something, they're earning economic profit because the graph shows me that. I don't think they would accept that, right? Price is greater than average total cost. C, in the long run, what happens to each of the following? 1 point, number of firms in the industry increases. The explanation, not for an additional point, you'd have to have the explanation correct to get this point, due to profit being made. So the number of firms would increase because there was profit. And then C2, the equilibrium price in the market. So once again, if firms enter, the supply curve is going to shift to the right, which means the market price will decrease. So now we're at 4 points. D, is Grand Farm, currently allocatively efficient? 1 point total for your 5th point. Yes, because price equals marginal cost. E, 1 point total. Are they productively efficient? No, because price does not equal the bottom of average total cost. Okay, so remember, if our price was right here, this is the bottom of ATC is where we're allocatively efficient, or excuse me, productively efficient, sorry, when your price equals. Now, if we were at the long run and our price was there, it would be allocatively efficient and productively efficient. Our price, everything would be right there, but it's not. So our price is, because it's greater than average total cost, we're not at the bottom of it, so it's not productively efficient. Okay, so that's, I think 6 points, is that right? 3, 4, 5, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sure. F, assume the corn is an inferior good and consumers' income rise. Would the price in the market increase, decrease, remain the same? 1 point. It would decrease because there would be a decrease in demand. Okay, so we know that, right? It's an inferior good. If your income goes up, you buy less. F2, the price for the firm, 1 point, decrease, right? So if the demand over in the marketplace falls, make your dotted lines over, the price is going to fall as well. F3 for 1 point with the quantity in the 1 point. So watch, let's say demand fell and your price falls. So we're right here. If this price line, if your marginal revenue, your demand curve here, if it starts falling, look what's happening. It's going to hit your marginal cost at a lower quantity. So it'd be 1 point to say it will be lower because MC equals MR at a lower quantity, right? Or it equals your marginal cost at a lower quantity, something like that. G, assume the price falls for the firm below their average total cost. What must be true for them to continue to operate? So if the price goes below, 1 point to say it would still have to be, price would still be greater than average variable cost, or total revenue is greater than your total variable cost, but just keep it simple, right? Price would be greater than average variable cost for a point. That's 10 points so far. Maybe you're all 10 for 10. You're thinking, do I get the last 2? Rent is an important fixed cost for farms currently growing corn, and the industry experiences a decrease in rent, which I doubt rent really is the biggest fixed cost for corn farmers, but whatevs. So H1, I know that's not supposed to be an I. I know I got a little screwy here. H1, this is 2 points. Would the profit maximizing quantity increase, decrease, remain the same? 1 point, remain the same. For those of you who guessed, well, good guess. Second point, for those of you who knew it, even better, because fixed costs don't affect marginal cost. And then if you want to say, and so your marginal cost equals marginal revenue at the same quantity, something like that. Okay, boom, there you go. 24 points. Now, this is my very unofficial, non-College Board sanctioned point total that I'm going to give you. But just from the past 20-something years, I would say that if you were in the 21 to 24-ish range, then you just hit a 5, okay? Now, anything can change. This year, maybe you need all 24 points. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is based on past years, my guess would be in the like 17-ish to 20 would be that 4, right? 17 would be a lower 4, 20 would be a really high 4. Worst grade to get, by the way, a high 4, right? Like a point away from a 5, or the worst, grade, a high 3, and maybe your college only accepts a 4, right? Get your points. Don't do anything silly. And then the 3s, 13, maybe 14 to 16, right in that range, 13 to 16, I guess. So those are very unofficial. I want that in writing, very unofficial. But hopefully this helped. Now, tomorrow, the questions I've come up with are, I'm trying to hit on as many different things. They're going to be totally different questions than this, because I'm trying to hit on as many different things so there won't be any surprises for you. So definitely come back tomorrow. Same thing when you're done with question 2. You got things to do. Come on. For Katie up there at Stevenson, she knows it's like 13 degrees here in Michigan. It's not really, but it feels that way. I think it's like 45. Oh my gosh. You people down south have no idea how lucky you are right now. And so really take the test tomorrow. Take the time. So the last thing I want to do for you guys today is go through. Now, for those of you, hold on, but don't you dare hit. And this is important. And I know, because I have, a 20 and an 18-year-old, I know that they would not do this on their own. So you're already here. Let's just do this together and get it done. So first of all, here's your options for how to do this. Told you yesterday we'd go through this. So first of all, you can't be on Internet Explorer. You got to have either Chrome or Firefox. And you can be using Safari's totally fine, right? So laptop, they recommend. Desktop computer, they recommend. iPad would be next down the list, or some type of tablet. Phone, even further down the list. But we all understand, right? You got to get it done. So type it, yes. If you're writing, some of you have been with me from day one. Number Simon reached out the other day, said he had, my writing is at best 4th grade level. So if I was a reader, right, I don't think some of these readers should be forced to read my handwriting. So I would type this thing, okay? 5 minutes remaining, copy and paste it, click submit, okay? There's your first. Copy and paste it in a response. Use a Google Doc, something like that. Upload it. Second, attach a document. Put it in Microsoft Words, Google Docs, something like that. Now, right, it says save your document. We're not going to go through all these. I'm not going to because you guys can read. And this is what it's normally going to save in. What their point is, please don't use some random like MySpace account, Microsoft Works page, right, from 1997. It's probably not going to upload. It's got to be like, relevant. So do that. 5 minutes left, attach it. That's the way to do it. Or number 3, attach photos. So you're writing, you click with your phone, upload it. I will say this, once again, you can do graphs all day, but they can't get graded. They've openly said that. So the question might say, draw the graph to answer the question. Totally fine, but you're going to have to write this stuff out. And if you have really nice writing, okay, but I think typing it would be the easiest. I will tell you right now, if you're typing it, be careful of spell check, okay? Because allocatively efficient, there's some words out there that you might use in econ that maybe your computer doesn't know what you're saying, okay? So once again, you can do that, and it says maximum of 5 photos per test question. Make sure to attach all of your pages before you click submit. All right, next, submitting your response. So now we figured out how to do it, okay? Stay with me, just don't, come on. Keep your earbuds in. Netflix's Gossip Girl is going to be there when you get done. So submitting a response is a 2-step process. So you've already either attached, you've done something, click submit. Now here's what's key. If you don't click submit before the timer runs out, your response will not count. Don't be that person, okay? There's a reason at 5 minutes it's going to say, we recommend you submit now, not with 1 minute left. Once you click it, it might take a minute. So if your bandwidth is kind of slow, you might see there. The good news is you can probably move on to the next question. As long as you clicked submit, it will get there. And then right here, it says, if your response continues to transfer after the exam ends, wait for an on-screen message confirming that your exam is complete. Make sure your submissions have fully loaded before you close your browser. So if you have to drive somewhere to get Wi-Fi, or you go sit in a coffee shop somewhere, I don't know if you can do that, but if you do, bad idea. But if you do, don't like just shut your thing down. You're going to get a message saying, perfect, we confirm it's complete. If you don't see your exam is complete, then you have to go to cb.org/request makeup, and you can understand what you're saying. You can't be like, no, I promise I did it. Can I send it now? I don't think that's going to work. So you'd have to take the makeup in June. Okay. So now that we've walked through this, you have 3 ways of doing this, but submit is key. Attach, however you do it, submit, wait, you'll get a confirmation. For most of you, it's going to be very quick. Okay. Now, before we look at those links, I want to show you something. Because you're with me, and because it's so quick today anyways, it's only 3:20. So I want you guys to watch this. It is a whopping 16 minutes. Now I know some of you just went, and done. Don't, just watch this. It's got all of the relevant information. And then you can then you're good. Then you don't need to, for the next 2 weeks, go, hey, do you know how to do this? Or you're texting your teacher on the exam day, like, hey, where do I go? If your teacher's like me, we're gonna be, come on. So here, let's watch this together. It's a really good video that two the women who work at the College Board put together. They did a really nice job on this. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to come back. And the last slide I'm going to show you is where I'm not going to spend time going through it. I promise you I'm not going to waste your time today. Okay, we're done in 16 minutes, 17, if you give me 30 seconds at the end. I'm just going to show you the link. So if there's something you individually want to see, you can write it down. Okay, so let's watch this.
Hi, my name is Dana Koppelman with the Advanced Placement Instruction Team. I'm joined by my colleague, Claire Lorenz, and we want to take just a few moments to walk you through the 5 steps you should take before exam day. Here you'll see the simple checklist of what you should do to be ready when your AP exam happens. Note that this is just an overview. We're going to dive more deeply into each of these steps in just a few moments. The first thing you'll want to do is review your contact information. If you aren't receiving emails from the AP program, don't worry. You can log into My AP to see the email address you used and to find details about your test. I'll talk about that more momentarily. Step 2, we want you to check your tech. We want to make sure that you choose and prepare the device and documents you are going to need for exam day. 3, we want to offer you the opportunity to practice submitting your response. Beginning May 4th, we now have an online AP exam demo that you can use to practice. For those taking world languages, the World Languages exam app will be available by the week of May 11th and will include a practice mode for you to use prior to taking.
All right, hang on. I'm being told that you can't see the video. It's just PowerPoint. This is welcome to prep week. That's very interesting. Okay, so, well, guess what? You guys just got out. Rory, thank you. Appreciate that. Natalia, thanks. So this did work earlier. So I guess I have some good news for you guys. Here's what I want you to do. Okay, I'm going to show you what this is. If you go on YouTube, at some point, this is if you go into YouTube and click the advanced placement thing here, this is the 5 steps to take before exam day. Okay, so the 5 steps, we'll just run it through you guys instead. I'm sorry for that. It did work earlier. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, you could hear it, and no one's going to sit there and listen, right? You guys want to see this because they're going to go through this. This is the one video that I would highly recommend you watch. I know some of your teachers have probably watched this and pushed it out. So there it is. Last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about today is this, and then we're done. So here are your links. Okay. So first of all, the big thing is, I had this discussion with my students yesterday. Make sure that you're getting the emails from the College Board and that you have your AP ID number there that you're going to need. That ticket, right? The exam day checklist, and there's a ticket you can print. Make sure you have all that stuff, right? I know they're going to email it out. I think a couple days before the test is what the email said, something like that. Make sure you guys are ready. I know that some of you, right? Not all, most of you are fantastic students. You can be so over prepared. You're the kid who shows up at the ACT with 9 pencils in your hand. I still don't understand that. So, but there's a couple of you who, let's say in school, that have the tendency to walk in and say, what are we doing today? And someone's like, it's the midterm. And you're like, oh, no kidding, that's today. You can't do this. We're not there with you to help you through this. So you have to take this thing called personal responsibility to make sure you guys are all set and go. So make sure this exam day checklist you guys have looked at, it goes through exactly what you need. And then the 5 steps video, that's what I was just trying to show you. It's also on YouTube there. But these things are all going through exactly what you guys need to sit down and take your AP test. So there you go. And tomorrow, once again, 2 for response. So kind of 2 questions put together to make one, and then another one. Make sure you guys do both questions there. And then Thursday I'll go over it, and then Friday's going to be real brief. Okay? Very brief. It'll be our final wrap up. So hopefully you guys did well. You know, and hopefully it makes sense going over if you need to correct any mistakes. So Natalia, I think we're good. I think we can let these guys go, and hopefully you guys have a chance to watch that video on your own. So enjoy your, is it Tuesday? I think Wednesday. I don't know, Tuesday-ish. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Pen and paper, be ready to roll. You guys have a good day. Apologize for the video. You take care.